Hello, hello, hello. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Just adding people in here. Doing my usual share outs and stuff like that. Getting ready to go on and talk about spiritual things. Just getting things situated here. Welcome. Oh wow. Yeah. I did not think this was gonna light up like this. Well, it doesn't carry over from over here. Guess it's not bright enough. Hello, welcome. Welcome to the chat. It's great to see everybody here. I'm going to put on my headphones so I could hear. If you people would like to share, please do so. Like. It helps the rhythm. So more people can come in. If you have any stories to share, anything to share, hit the box and we'll come up and we'll talk about that stuff. I don't know if you can hear me, but still trying to get this a little situated here. Welcome, welcome. Hope everybody likes the lighting. I thought my lighting would be a little bit different, but apparently it doesn't want to go very well. I thought my lighting would have been better. I might have to switch it a little. Because on TikTok, apparently the lighting kind of is different. It got me a little dark here. More darker than I thought I would have. More than I would have it anyway. Welcome. Nice to have everybody here. We're going to be talking about spiritual things. We're having a spiritual chat today. If you have any stories or any spiritual things you'd like to talk about, please hit the guest request. Why this is not working, it's bugging me. Okay, welcome. We're doing a spiritual chat, as I said earlier. Anybody want to come up in the box, feel free. Like and share. If you can, that'd be great. I'm trying to figure out where to place this because I've never done it in this position. Yeah, I might have to try the gold one because this is not working the way I was hoping. That's the gold one. Yeah, it's still not bright enough. Well, alright, I guess we'll do it like this. I can still read the chat, but anybody would like to come up, we'll talk about spiritual things. How's everybody doing today? Hello, welcome. Thank you for coming in, Trina, and the 6 other people that are here. Kinda need a red ring, but you're good. Yeah, I don't know why it's not. Ew. Whoa, make me creepy. Yeah, I don't want to turn a light on either. Yeah, I guess I'll have to do it like this. I guess, I don't know. I don't know what else to do. Hello, welcome. Thank you for the finger hearts, the finger and the roses. Does anybody have anything they want to talk about? Some people were talking about November last time. Some people were talking about other things like they'd like to talk about, like some wanted to talk about November. Yeah, thank you. It's just like starting over again because, I used to have some followers at least coming on live, but, anybody wants to come up, feel free. We're talking about spiritual stories and spiritual things. We're even going to talk about the paranormal if you want to talk about that. Thank you for joining my team. Still trying to figure this out. Still new at this, as you see. Trying to find a way to make this lighting a little bit better. Thank you for joining, Mayweather. Very nice to see you here. If you have anything you want to share, you can come up. Feel free. Because I'm trying to figure out my lighting situation here. I look a little dimmy. Anybody have anything they want to talk about? Like, share. If you want to talk about anything, please feel free. Anything you want to talk about that's paranormal or spiritual or even UFOs. We'll talk about UFOs if you want. Whatever, I'm here. This is not just my live, it's your live. This is a safe space. We have people on here that will make it a safe space. We usually have it's kind of like a free talk to talk about whatever you like to talk about. But maybe sooner or later on, a week or so, I might be starting on topics. So if you have any suggestions on topics about spiritual things, you can send me a message and I'll see which topic we want to hit first. But we have to wait until we get a bunch more people in here so we know what the topic will be and what the people like to talk about. It's very hard when you're starting over again to find out what everybody likes to talk about, like about spiritual things and UFOs and paranormal. Like to talk about all those things. So if anybody wants to talk about anything, please. I don't feel like talking all this time. Thank you. Welcome to the live. Read your books. Motivations. The Path of a Phoenix. Pretty cool names, actually. Origins of a PI. That sounds like a cool thing, too. Anybody want to talk? Feel free. Let me see if I can get more people, because this is not going out anywhere. Nobody wants to come up. Nobody wants to talk. Wish we had more people to come up and talk about something. That'd be great. I like to hear when people talk and share their inspirations and things that happen to them. What inspires them? What makes you a spiritual individual? Stuff like that. I'm going to keep inviting. Hopefully somebody comes up. Oh. Share to them. Zippity, zippity. Alright. I shared out again. Anybody want to talk about anything? Feel free to come up. Welcome to the chat. Hey, how you doing there, Nikki? I loved your picture. It was really cool. It happened to have the same picture as me.
Hi.
Hi.
Thank you.
Oh, no problem. I liked your picture. I was like, wait a minute, that's almost the same one as mine.
Yeah, that was over my dad's funeral back in
Wow.
2017. So yeah, it was pretty. It kind of made me want to. It kind of got me looking towards the sky because I kept looking for more. And then I would be like, "Is that one? Is that one?" Um, but then but then I guess after that it kind of put me towards looking up to the sky. But then in like 2021, I started seeing all this crazy stuff in the sky, and it just is getting more and more and more and more like intense.
It seemed like a lot of do you have a pinning option? It should be pinning. Um, well, when I took my picture, that was late July because I went to the beach. I went to Norfolk Beach, and when I went down there, we came out of I came out of the hotel room and I looked up and I happened to see that. I'm like, that is really cool.
Yeah, they're called rainbow feather clouds, and they actually mean something spiritually. And when he got into a head-on collision, and my aunt found pennies, I guess, that had rolled out of the car or whatever, came out of the car. And every time we found pennies for years, we called them Papa pennies. And when I say my prayers, I'll ask God to, let my dad come visit me if he can, and I'll find a penny, randomly. I swear.
I thought when I looked at mine, I got the sense of a dragon. That's what mine looked like.
It did. It did look like a dragon because it was like. It also looked like a feather because it looked like it was like a long stem of a feather, and then
Yeah.
yeah.
I was like, yours looks like a feather, mine looked like a dragon. And I know there was somebody else that had one. It would look like a steady stream. It looked like you ever seen Star Trek? Like the
Um,
Nexus?
no.
Well, it was like Star Trek the Nexus. It looked like a ribbon. It was like
Oh,
a it looked like a multicolored ribbon. Somebody had it. It looked like it went on for like a half a mile. It was like really long.
oh my God, that would be so cool.
It was cool, and I don't remember where I seen the picture, and that was like a year ago. I was like, that is cool, because it had like, each spot looked like it had spikes and colors, and I was like, oh, I don't know what it was, but I showed that picture to some people. They were telling me that it's a tear to a higher dimension.
Yeah, well, I think when my dad died, he was like the narcissistic teacher in my life,
Yeah,
and I think that he had to die so I could heal and try to,
unalive.
Right. Oh, I'm so sorry. See, I
Yeah,
know. I'm so sorry. I've gotten in trouble for that earlier, and I was really into the live. I'd say whatever I want on mine, and they never do anything. Like, I mean,
yeah. They they really.
oh, that's really cool. I can see why. Yeah, it does look like a dragon.
Yeah, they really suck it to me at some certain times. They really decided they want to screw me.
Oh, and it's got a big blue. The tail part of it is blue.
Yeah.
I mean, to me, it looks like a feather, but to you, it looks like a dragon. But
Some yeah, other people said it looks like a rip.
like a riptide.
A rip like a tear a rip or a tear in the space-time continuum, I guess.
Oh, I mean, I guess I can see that.
Yeah.
I don't know. There's just been so much crazy stuff going on in the sky lately. I mean, dude,
Like I have seen so much stuff lately.
I have two.
Like I don't know if you've seen the giant octopus I had.
Oh my gosh, that's the alien jellyfish things. My husband he told me about those like a while back, and I was like, look, my friend has pictures he took, and that is so creepy.
The funny thing is, I seen them both in the same day.
Oh, that's crazy.
It was. This was early in the morning. This was maybe about 8 or 9 in the morning because they were still asleep. And I woke up and I went outside to smoke a cigarette. And I went out and I heard, "Hey, you want to see what it looked like? Look up." I looked up and I seen that. I'm like, "Holy crap!" So I took the picture, and then we went out to eat. And as we're driving, I looked over and I said to my son, because he was in the front seat, I let him sit in the front occasionally, so I sat in the back and I'm like, "Do you see that?" He's like, "See what?" I said, "Do you see this?" And he didn't see nothing. And he's very intuitive like me. So first I took the picture and I'm like, "See this?" He's like, "I see it on the camera, but I don't see it up in the sky." I'm like, "Are you kidding me?"
Well, I don't think everybody can see some of the things that we see
Yeah. I
now.
think that's what they told me. I'll get into that one a little bit later. But after I showed him on camera, and the thing started like phasing in and out of like, I don't know, reality, if you want to call it. It was shifting back and forth, and the thing appeared over the middle of the ocean.
So the octopus.
Yeah, I got pictures of that.
Well, yeah, you should post them.
Oh, I did.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Well, then maybe tag me in it and I'll go watch it.
I think I did actually in that too.
Oh, I thought you said of it coming out of the ocean, though. Yeah, I saw the ones of it flying in the air. Hello. I saw the octopus. Yeah, I saw that.
That's when I first seen it, and I asked him, "Did you see that?" And he goes, "I didn't see it." And then, the next one was this one. That's one of them.
That is so scary.
Yeah, that one was above houses. At first I thought it was a kite, because
Yeah.
I'm very skeptical, and I was like, that's a kite. It has to be. And I'm looking down, and all the houses were close together. So I'm like, that can't be a kite. And then it went above the ocean, and then it started like it was there, and then it wasn't there. It was there, and then it wasn't there. It was there, and it wasn't there. I tried to get it on film, but we were going so fast in the car, like 75 miles an
Well, you
hour.
got some pretty good pictures.
But yeah, and I only managed to get the pictures because we stopped. It was funny. But that was a weird thing to see, and that one and that that one that thing I seen.
Hey, come here. Hey, yes, you do. Yoga fool.
Is that one? I love that one.
I love that one too. That would be a cool screensaver for your phone. I mean, I
Right?
don't know. I mean, I don't know if you do that kind of stuff. Well, I just wanted to drop in and say hello and thank you for talking to me and thank you for sharing those pictures because all of those pictures were cool. I mean, the jellyfish thing, they have always freaked me out ever since like my husband told me about them. But you got some really good pictures of them. You should like send them in because it was on like Fox News or something. It was
Yeah,
crazy.
I thought about it, but I was like, I'll
I
probably get some
know.
plaque or something. So, and I show my stuff because I want to make people aware.
Me
That
too. Me too. That's
I
why.
don't I don't do my stuff to be famous, and I don't want to have like all these reporters and all this crap. And I'm like, I don't want to do all that.
Yeah, I know. Cause like, somebody messaged me, and she's like one of us, and she told me I should send it into MUFON, and I did. I sent like some pictures and stuff that I'm gonna post for my part two of the cloud thing. I don't know if you saw it or not, but anyway, um,
MUFON, I've heard of them, but I haven't really got into that. I probably should because I have a ton of pictures.
yeah, well, they contacted me and they filled out a report, and I had a case file and everything. And he basically said that they're just UAPs and they don't know what they are. That's literally what he said. And he said he thinks I might have been abducted. So the contact the investigator for that, but I didn't really feel like going through all that. I'm just like, no.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna like keep, recording the things that I see in the sky, and but yeah. So I mean, I tried it, and then I was like, yeah, it's not even worth all the trouble,
Yeah.
because it's there for us to show, not to, yeah, exactly. But hey, it was so great talking to you,
No
and
problem.
um, and I will just send me your lives whenever, and I will join or watch or whatever. I would
All
rather
right. It's
participate because I hate reading little words. Because when I have lives too, I always want people to participate with me because I don't want to just sit there and not, you know what I'm saying? Like, I want like people to interact with me because everybody's like friends, but they don't have to hang out. I mean, that's like the best kind of friends. You can just like hang out online and then just go to sleep, go do your own thing.
right.
Yeah. So, okay. Well, it was. What's your name? Your real name?
Paul.
Paul. I'm Nikki.
Nice name.
That's my real name. Okay. Okay. Well, bye.
Bye. Nice having you here.
Yeah. Thank you.
No problem.
Bye.
Bye. I guess it's back to changing my view again. Well, that was an interesting guest. A lot of joy talking to her. Anybody else want to come up? And I noticed we have 3 people. 4 people. Welcome. Anybody have anything they want to share? Clouds, paranormal, alien stories, Bigfoot stories, paranormal, anything besides politics. We can have a discussion about that. Because we got like 4 people and I'm talking to myself, and talking to myself not usually fun. Try and try and try. Anybody have anything to say? Anybody want to talk about anything? Aliens, air circus, kite. Welcome. Welcome, Cheryl. Welcome to the live. That I'm talking to myself in. Probably should change the light. It's probably creeping people out or something. I don't know. Oh, me to creep people out. I hope it's not. Everybody's running because of my light. Oh my gosh. Oh my no. He's dark. It's evil. No, I'm not evil. I'm just trying to do something up. Hey, Quantum, you want to come up here? Oh, Quantum, where are you? I invited you. Yeah. Are you going to talk to me? Boy, you're going to make me bring out my dragon. He's going to come out and start talking. Unless that's what y'all want to hear. You just want to hear a dragon get all nuts. Hello? Anybody hear me? Monaya. Anybody want to come up? Anybody want to talk about anything? Because this is going to be a pretty boring life if nobody wants to talk. I don't mind sitting here, but hey, if anybody has anything they want to talk about, please save me from being bored. I need someone to save me. Welcome to the live, Kay. Everybody want to come up? Everybody want to talk about anything? Should I just start channeling and Doing parodies of people. That'd be fun. That'd be kind of funny, actually. We got stories. Anybody with paranormal stories? Any other introductions? Easter Bunny come and get you? Santa Claus come down your chimney? I mean, anything. Time difference, time traveler, anything anybody want to talk about besides politics. I mean, come on, guys. Work with me here. All these people coming in and out, and nobody wants to talk about anything. Let's talk about spiritual things. Anybody have anything spiritual they want to share? You can feel free to come up in the box. Want to talk about anything? Anyone? I don't see no guests coming up. Come on, people. Work with me. Or is everybody just too tired to even talk at this point? Well, nobody wants to talk. Anybody can come up and talk about spiritual things. Come on. I'm willing to talk to anybody. Why is that not working? That was supposed to work. Well. Oh. Tell one of my stories. What story would you like to hear? Nobody wants to come up, so I guess I'll have to talk. What kind of story you want to hear? The one where I thought I was taken. There was the ghost stories. There's paranormal stories. Alien stories. Got so many. I don't know which one. Tell a story. There was a guy that he lived in California. How about that story, Trina? This guy in California. Should I tell that story? The California story, yeah. Maybe I should tell that one. Well, let's see. There was a dragon sitting here waiting in a red light, waiting for people to come on and talk to. He sat there for 20 minutes, looking for people to talk to. Hello, Julie. Welcome. Welcome to the live. As you see, I'm in the red light, and I'm in the red light district here, and talking to myself. I really thought there'd be people coming on, but everybody must be just too wrapped up in what they're doing or on their lives. But I'm here. Like I said I was at the time. Maybe a little before, actually. Anybody got a story they want to share? Any news they want to share? Paranormal? Bigfoot? I know Diane has Bigfoot stories. Come on now. I know you're down there, Diane. You got Bigfoot stories. You want to talk about them Bigfoot. And Julie, you got that Leviathan dragon. Oh wow, I found an underwater video on the tube. It was 11/11/11. Hey, that's pretty neat. Do you have anything you want to come up and share, or does anybody have anything to share? Or I could just go tell a story about what happened to me in California. Because that still kind of bugs me, but I'd rather move on to something else. But There's tons of stories I could talk about, tons of experiences. But I'd like to hear what anybody else has to say. Which one? Which story you want to hear? I've got the California trip, the one that pisses me off still, or I've got the alien abductions. I've got paranormal. I've had abductions. Well, that's interesting. Do you want to come up and tell the story? People. It's 8:22. Waiting for people to talk about something. If anybody wants to hear a story, just what kind of story do you want to hear? I have so many. Or I could just talk about my whole entire life. Hey, what happened? Hey, what happened to my light? Hello? My light disappeared. Why did it do that? Hello? Why did my light do that? Did it just shut off on me? Dude, what's up with that? My light shut off on me. Well. Oh. I don't know why my light shut off. Alright, hold on. Hello, welcome again.
Hey.
Welcome to the live that nobody wants to talk on.
I don't know why, like, you have all the stories.
I know, right? What's up with that?
Yeah. I don't get it. Like, whoever's
I don't
here
know.
will hear it. Hello.
I guess people are busy doing other things and, they don't like to talk about scary things. Ooh.
Oh man, you can pick just about any topic and I probably have a story.
My whole life, well, I had, there's one story that I still bugs me to this day, but I kind of try to stay away from that because it was a whole mess of drama.
Mm.
But it still bugs the shit out of me because of what happened. And it's not because I'm holding resentment to that person.
Mm-hmm.
I'm holding resentment to the actions of that person. But yeah, my whole life was just a big. I grew up and I didn't. I grew up in hell.
Dude, I hear you. I feel like my whole life's been one big trauma response.
It's almost like my life was a big freaking horror story. I want to turn my camera off for this part because it's hard to talk when I'm looking at my face when I talk about that stuff. Let me find a picture. Oh, maybe I can do this. We all look at the candle. Well, candlelight visual. Um, when I was younger, my family, my mom, she never really cared about me or anything. I had 14 brothers and sisters, and I grew up being treated like a slave. I took care of 336 rabbits, 5 dogs, a garden, 14 brothers and sisters. I had to cook all the time. It was either I woke up at 5 o'clock in the morning, I had to do chores around the house, get my brothers and sisters ready for school, and then get ready for school myself, go to school, and come back and start the whole process until like 9, 10 o'clock at night. I never had any free time. And then on the weekends, it was consistently me being a servant to them. And to a point, it didn't bother me too much, you know, but it did in some aspects because I never really had a childhood. I grew up just in hell. My family, my brothers and sisters, they would always I would eat last. I had to cook them whenever we had chicken or anything, I had to go and cook them the food and I got the scraps. And they got the good cereal, I got Quaker oat cereal. And when it was time for me to eat, sometimes I would eat rice, peas, split peas, and pinto beans, something like that. And it got to the point, and lima beans, I can't stand any of that stuff now.
Yeah.
It was always forced down my throat. They would have the good food, I would get the scraps and the stuff that wasn't there. It got so bad that I had my brothers and sisters, I basically sacrificed my entire life for them because I would have to go and borrow food from the store. And I would have to jump inside Salvation Army buckets and Goodwill buckets and pull them out clothes. So they could have clothes because my mother was always on her back or she was always shooting up drugs. Well, rugs. And she was the kind of person that she only cared about one thing, and that was rugs. So one day I said I wanted to go to church, and she's like, "No, you can't go to church. Church is bad. They lied to you, and this and that." And she was Native American. My dad was an Italian, and he was a bad man. He would unalive people in front of me. I grew up in, you haven't seen an Italian family from Sicily. That's kind of what it was. So I wanted to go to church, and they were like, "You got to go to Catholic church," and this and that. And I was like, "No, whatever. I'm not going to that." So I met some people, and they brought me into going to the Baptist church. So I went into the church. I started to become religious in an aspect of knowing, the Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want, stuff like that. I did that for a few years, and then I decided when I grew up, and I got pulled out of I got pulled out of my home because my mom was very abusive in every single way. When she was very abusive to me, and all kinds of abuse, you could just close your eyes and think about it. It all had happened to me. And they pulled us out of the home. And then, but one of the things that remind me of when I was younger, my dad tried to unalive me. I was 5 years old. This is when I was 5 years old. My dad tried to unalive me. So what he did was he nailed the windows down in the building. It was called Great Brook Valley. And the police normally don't go in those kind of areas. It was that bad.
Yeah.
And if they did, it would have to be 20 cop cars. So he nailed the windows shut and lit the place on fire.
Oh.
And so I'm dreaming. My mom, I don't know where my mom was. I think she was out gallivanting the streets. I don't know. But I remember I watched Godzilla. I was by myself at the time. I was watching Godzilla. I went to sleep. I woke up and I felt my feet were getting hot. So when I woke up, I noticed that the room was on fire.
Oh my God.
And I'm screaming, and nobody was coming. Nobody was coming for me. And I'm like, well, I'm gonna die. Godzilla's gonna burn me up.
Oh.
So I'm screaming, I'm crying, and I did pee my pants. I ain't gonna lie. Um, and all of a sudden, I felt this warm feeling behind me. There was a woman behind me. She was a blonde woman. And later on, I know who she was, and it's kind of cool. But the blonde woman was behind me, and she's like, got cradled in her arms, and she's telling me that, don't be afraid. I'll be here. You'll be saved. I won't let the big shadows get you out of the fire. And you know when you're seeing flames, you're seeing shadows go across the wall, kind of like Final Destination. When you're seeing the shadows crossing the wall, they were scaring the hell out of me. And so the the lady's like, she's patting my head. She's like, don't look, don't look. Somebody will be here shortly. Somebody will be here. And I was sitting there, and it felt like I was there for hours, but it probably wasn't. And when I was there, I heard boom, boom, boom up against, like, you know how like somebody's hitting like concrete? It sounded like somebody was hitting concrete. This big dude, he looked like he was about 7 feet tall, and he was built. He came through the wall with a window with a battle axe. It looked like he had a battle axe. I thought it was like Conan the Barbarian or something. He come blasting through. He's wearing a whole white outfit, a whole yellow outfit. He comes over, pulls me up off the bed, brings me out, and I'm like, and I'm kicking and screaming, save the girl, save the girl. And they're like, there's no girl in there, son. There's no girl in there. I'm like, there's a woman in there. There's a woman in there. And they're like, no, there isn't, son. And, you know, they bring me over to the ambulance. I'm fighting. I'm like, save the girl, save the girl. And they put the mask on my face to breathe because I was still coughing and stuff when I was yelling. So they put the mask on my face, and I seen them. They went in and to see if there was anybody in there, like 3 times. A couple of them went in there. They kept saying, there's nobody in there, there's nobody in there. So they put the mask back on my face and secured it better. So when they did that, I look over, and the woman was in the crowd. She was in the crowd. She nodded. She winked at me and nodded. And she says, be safe. And then she walked away. That was when I was like 7, I think. Yeah, I was 7 years old. I think I was 7. That was my first experience with something like really crazy, off the wall, weird like that. So then, the next one was, I was 13 years old. I really wanted a girlfriend at the time, and I just wanted to feel love because I was pushed around through foster homes and beat on and abused in all different kinds of ways. And I just wanted, you know, a family, someone to love me, you know, maybe a girlfriend, something, anybody that would give me love at this point. So I sat by a tree out near a field because I lived in a foster home and it had like 2 acres of land, and I could never leave because I felt like I was in prison. But anyway, so I went to the backyard and there was this tree. So I sat by this tree. I closed my eyes and I'm like, I said, God, source, angels, beings, whatever's out there, can you help me? Why am I here? Why is this happening to me? Why does nobody love me? Why can't I ever get love? And lo and behold, I closed my eyes. I started feeling nature. I put my hands in the dirt because I was by a tree. I dug my hands into the dirt, and I had a pen and paper with me in case I had to write something down. But anyway, I dug my hands into the dirt and I laid it back against the tree, and I almost felt like I could feel the vibrations of the tree, and I was so into it. I felt I could feel the breeze, but it was different, you know. And then there was this calmness. It's almost like time stopped. And I opened my eyes, and Aphrodite was standing in front of me. The goddess Aphrodite was standing in front of me, and I was like, huh? At the time, I didn't know who she was. And she was there. She had kind of a pink, and it was almost an off-white pink outfit on. And she stood there in front of me, and I'm like, where did you come from? She goes, oh, I've always been here. You just didn't notice me. And I'm like, oh. And she goes, I noticed you have a pad and paper there. I'm like, yeah. She goes, well, what is that for? I go, well, I like to write things, and so I like to write poems. She's like, you do? And she smiled at me, you know, being coy. She's like, you do? Well, what kind of poem are you looking for? Well, I want one with love, so somebody would actually love me and care for me. Something that would express how I feel. Mm-hmm. And she comes over, she sits down beside, well, kind of not sit down, she kind of squats down in front of me. And she put her hand on my right shoulder and she says, now, I'm going to touch it. When I touch you, what comes to your mind? And this is the poem she touched me, and this is the poem I came up with. I still remember it to today. Misty rain softly falls, the tears sliding down my face. All I can think of is you. This world is a cold, empty place. Your voice haunts me as the world around me turns. All this love for you grows and burns. I'm the sensitive poet, the bountiful moon. I wish and pray this heart will leave soon. You're the molting sunset, glowing pale and bright. You're the hopeful sunrise, the never fading light. The storms catch no tears, the storms catch no souls. These are my feelings that I have no control. And then I'm like, wow. She's like, that's beautiful. She goes, do you know what that really is? I'm like, no. And I wrote it down. And she's like, that poem, it's a magic. It's magic. I'm like, magic? Nah, I don't believe in magic. And she's like, you don't believe in it yet, but you might. You have a very illuminating future. It'll get better in some aspects. You'll have your rough patches and this and that. I was like, oh, okay. She goes, but that is a soul cry song, a soulmate song. She goes, anyone that realizes that's what it is will understand what that means. And I'm like, really? And so I repeated it again. I went, misty rain softly falls, the tears sliding down my face. All I can think of is you. This world is a cold, empty place. Your voice haunts me as the world around me turns. All this love for you grows and burns. I'm the sensitive poet, the bountiful moon. I wish and pray this hurt will leave soon. You're the molting sunlight, calm, brown, bright. You're the hopeful sunrise, the never fading light. There's so much catch no souls, there's so much catch no feelings, and these are my feelings and I have no control. And it's just like, now remember that. And I've remembered it all 45 years. So that was my second experience with that kind of thing. And after that, she goes, you're on your way. She kissed me on the forehead, and I closed my eyes. She goes, now close your eyes. So I closed my eyes. She kissed me on the forehead. I opened my eyes, and she was gone. I go, wow, did I just dream that? And maybe at 13, I thought maybe I imagined it, you know. So I didn't really take too much into that. I mean, I did, but I was like, yeah, okay. It happened. Maybe I was just dreaming. Maybe I fell asleep and it was a dream.
Mm-hmm.
So I would think about, see, a lot of people don't know this one either. When I was about 15 years old, well, actually about 14, it was 14 years old. I had, I had a friend and we were in a car together and we got in a car accident and I was thrown from the car and on a I landed on my head. And when I did, I didn't know what exactly was going on. So my other friend had went on to the nether realm. He went on to the afterlife and I laid there and I woke up on the beach. It had fluorescent water and there was illuminated creatures in the water. And I'm like, where am I? And I wake up looking around. I see trees. The trees were like LED trees that kind of looked LED fluorescent, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And this woman came closer. It was a silhouette at first. It was a woman. As she came closer, I noticed it was a draconian. A little draconian girl. And she walks up to me. At first, I didn't know who she was. And she had like this dragon tail. She looked human. She had this little dragon tail, and she was really short. And she's like, "What are you doing here?" And I'm like, "Huh?" She's like, "What are you doing here?" She goes, "Like, you're not supposed to be here at all." And she kind of talked like a valley girl. And I'm like, "Oh God, am I dreaming again?" And she's like, you're not supposed to be here. You need to go back." I'm like, "Why?" She goes, "This isn't the place for you. This is, but just so you know, my name is Sola. I'm going to be with you when you need it the most. I'm going to be your spirit guide." And I'm like, "Really?" I was like, "You're pretty." She goes, "Oh, humans." And she goes, I'm like, "Oh." And she goes, "You're so funny." And so then I found that was very funny that I met with her and she came to be with me all the time. So anytime I had a time of need or want or I needed healing, I would go into that, that space I told you to go to.
Mm-hmm.
I told her to go to that space. She told me. So she said, whenever you want to find your guide, go to that space. And I'm like, okay. So I started going to that space, and that's when I started meeting all my guides. That's the first two times I met two of my guides. Anything you want to share so far?
What's that?
Anything you want to share so far?
Oh man. I mean, whoa, that's a lot. I've had some similar experiences. Um, wow. I well, when you mentioned the being in the accident, my only blood really my cousin. He was in an accident and suffered a TBI. He died several times.
Unalived.
Yeah, oh yeah, unalive several times,
Yeah.
and was in the ICU. And of course, the whole family was there, and we weren't allowed to touch him, talk, anything because of brain swelling. And they had actually taken a piece of his skull out and put it in his under his abdomen area to help relieve some of the pressure. And we could only go back one at a time, and I just felt this urge. I cried out to Jesus, Yeshua, to save him. Like he's my only cousin, and I just felt like I just wanted to touch his arm, and I was getting up to walk out of his room, and there was a woman standing there, and she was in kind of like teal colored scrubs, actually close to the color of my top.
Yeah.
And she just stood there. She was looking at me, and I looked at her, and she goes, "You look like you have a question." And I'm like, "Yeah, actually, I just want to know. I just want to touch his arm. I don't want to, cause any, problems or damage or anything. I was really concerned for him, obviously." She goes, "Well, you know what? I think that if you feel like that's what's needed and it will help, then you should do it." And I was like, "Really? That's okay?" And she just smiled. And so I went back in his room, and I remembered the sleeve of his tattoo. It had koi on, has koi and lotus flowers, and I just barely touched his arm, and I just prayed for him and just begged for him to fight and be there with us that he was needed. And I went after that. I went back and told the rest of the family, like, "Hey, I talked to this nurse, doctor person, and they told me it was okay." And they had the opposite reaction that I was expecting. They got really mad at me, and they wanted to know who the heck I talked to, and asked around, and they're like, "Nobody here even wears that color scrub, so I don't know what she's talking about." I absolutely had this experience, and I can't remember how much time went by. It wasn't a lot, but he started to show improvement and came out of it, and they were able to move him out of the ICU, and he was getting in trouble for taking out his trach tube and stuff like that. But he went through rehab, and now, unless you knew he had been through this accident, you would never know.
They work in mysterious ways, and angels like to guise themselves as humans. And I've come to realize that because I've had a few do that to me. So I get the whole where you're saying, you're telling us, did you see that person? They're like, no, I never seen that person. I'm like, the person was right there. No, I don't see them. And it's like, I get that. And yeah, to me, it was an angel, that was helping you in your time of need and helping him because you both have a greater purpose on this planet, on this earth. And to see him from how you are and hearing that story, I can understand that path now. You are a very bright light, and you're going to accomplish great things, and so isn't he. I think with your help with him and that brotherly sister relationship, that you'll bring them out and do better in the world. And that's what we all need to do as brothers and sisters in what we're
Absolutely.
doing.
Like he's really busy and super high energy, always doing something, and every once in a while we'll get to catch up, even though he lives, just maybe not even 10 minutes away from me, but he had reached out to me a few months back. Um, he suffers from depression really bad and was having these thoughts of unaliving himself. And I said, get over here. I didn't care what time it was, and he came over and he just cried, and I hugged him, and we talked about some things that we experienced in childhood but never shared with one another, and they were very similar things. And so I was glad that I could understand where he was coming from
Yeah.
and help bring him some peace and let him know that he's loved and that, he's not alone. And he knows that if he ever needs me, I'm here.
That's wonderful. And we're never alone. We may think we're alone even when you are in your space, in your house, and you think you're alone. You're not really alone at all. You have spirits. Like I was saying before, here's an example, if you don't mind me.
Yeah, go ahead.
I sat in my bathroom. I was smoking a cigarette or two. I heard a voice say, "Hey, let me use a ghost app." So I started using the ghost app, and for some reason, this time when I used the ghost app, it wasn't a ghost at all. It was a being.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, "Nah." So I was like, "Yeah, right, whatever. This isn't really happening." So I went and I got a bunch of things where I had the app on several different devices, and my roommate went and got his.
Mm-hmm.
So we had all of our devices on different ghost apps, right? Like at least seven of them. We had them all on different ghost apps. And this is what. Now I'm very skeptic and about things, and I wouldn't believe it if I didn't see it. And I wish I would have recorded this because it was the most phenomenal thing I've ever seen and heard. We would ask it questions because he's kind of a negative person, and he's very negative, and he's kind of withdrawn from society, and he's got a rage problem every once in a while, and he asked the app. First he was talking. He asked the app, he goes, "What do I need to do to change?" All of the apps at the same freaking time said, "Change." And he goes, "Well, what do you mean by change?" And before I got a chance to say anything, it said, "No, negative." And every time he would answer the question, all of the different apps would say the same thing. And I'm sitting here, I am blown away because when he started asking, I could feel energy, amount of energy that I haven't experienced in a while since I came back from California.
Mm-hmm.
This energy was heating up one half of my body. Half of my body felt like it was on a fire. And I turned and I looked at him. Let me see if I can show you. I turned and I looked at him like this. And I was kind of sitting there like this. And I'm like, the phone's in front of me and say, "This is the ghost app." And we're talking. And I'm seeing it. It actually has the words come up and it says it. They all said the same thing. So I started feeling this energy very, very pure white energy. And I'm like, do you sense that? He's like, I don't feel anything. Because sometimes he could feel the energy shift, but he feels it like with hot air and cold air, that kind of stuff, but not completely yet. So he's like, I do feel a warm breeze. And I'm looking over, I shit you not. There was 3 beings standing right in front of him. 2 of them were my guides, and there was this big being standing there. This thing was higher than my damn door. And I'm like, do you see that? He goes, I don't see nothing. I'm like, dude, you're standing right there. You got the phone near her, and before I got the chance to say it, all of the phones go head. I go, you got the phone by her, and all those things go head. And I'm like, he looks at me, and I'm like, dude, I don't know. I have no idea. He's like, this isn't logical. I'm like, no, it's not logical. And he's like, I've never in my life. I was like, I don't either. So then, I was like, at this point, I was so paralyzed, I could not move. For some reason, there was so much energy, my body wasn't moving. I could only move my neck. Even my hands wouldn't move. And I'm like, he's like, he says, let him go, let him move. Because he said, he asked me to go get, he says, he goes, I'm thirsty, can you go get the soda? I said, dude, I can't move. He goes, why? I go, dude, I feel like I'm paralyzed right now. He's like, he says to the whatever was there, he's like, let him go so he can move. And they're like, no harm. And he goes, well, who are you? They all said Adam.
Whoa.
I was like, as soon as I heard, he said, what is your name? He goes, it said, all 7 phones said Adam at the same time. He goes, Adam. And I went, oh my Lord. I looked over, just like this, and he started to glow golden. This being was at least 6 or 7 feet tall, and he was gold. He was a big figure of gold light. He goes, are you an angel? And I'm looking at the being, and I'm like, he's like, what's that? I go, I can't even. He's like, what? I'm like, I don't believe I'm seeing this. And he goes, what do you mean? He goes, the being is glowing gold. It looked like he had bronze skin, and all of a sudden his whole figure was like gold. And it was shining like really bright. Because I was like this. And he's like, and then they started carrying a conversation on the entire time. Him and all of the apps are answering at the same time. There wasn't no difference in the answers either. No difference.
Phenomenal.
And they all answered at the same time. And I was like, that is nuts. So then, one last thing, he says, I knew how many beings were there. I didn't tell him. He goes, how many beings are in this room that are from space? And all of the apps go, 3. I'm like, he says, nah. He says, okay. He says, he asked me, what did I see? I was like, there's 3. Yeah. I didn't say who was there or whatever.
Right.
He's like, he goes, is there a man, how many men are here? App goes, 1. How many women? 2. And he goes, and I'm sitting here going, I knew they were there. I could see them as plain as day. So he's asking them questions and confirming it with me because I'm seeing what they look like. He's like, he asked me, he goes, what are those alien races you say you talk to a lot? I go, I was about to say Palladian, and he said, you know what? I think didn't you say Palladian? He started getting it. He's like, was it a Palladian? I'm like, yeah. He goes, didn't you talk to another? He goes, was it an Octorian? He goes, no, wait. And I'm like, what was it? Do you know? And like, I'm asking him though. I'm like, do you know? He's like, did you say a tall white? And I'm like, yeah. He was like blown away by all this. Even if I ever could get him online to hear this, he was blown away by this. And he get the last one. His name was Adam, and he asked him, "Well, why did you come here?" He's like, "To help you become better than you are." And then he says, "I'll see you soon." And then they just left. He goes, and then as soon as they said they were leaving, the girl came over. She kissed my forehead. She has the thing with doing that. She kissed my forehead. I was able to move again, so I'm moving like this, going, blown away. I was like, that was just crazy. And so he goes, are you guys still here? And all of the apps went, Ginger, babe, boo, blah, whatever. And they all said different things, and I'm like, this. As soon as they left, the app started going, asking, different answers were given. I'm like, this is, I cannot.
Right.
That was the where I think that a lot of people, they don't, if you can't, what I think is, like you said, I think that certain people can see certain things because they see it different frequencies and different vibrations. You might see a ghost. I might see an angel.
Mm-hmm.
Joe over here might see like an alien. I think it's because of the level of frequency that we're on. We're able to sense or see or hear or feel different things. And I've come to realize that has to be true because when my roommate said he knew there was something there but he couldn't place it, I sat here going, dude, I'm looking right at them. And then they answered him the entire time, and he knew exactly what they were without me even saying it.
Yeah.
So that's kind of what I think. I think because we're all on different frequencies and different vibrations, we all see different things.
I agree.
And that's what I think.
Hey, Michael. Happy birthday.
Hello. Hello, Rachel. Hello, Michael. Welcome to the chat. If you have anything you want to share, a story about paranormal, an alien abduction, UFOs, or anything like that, feel free to hit the guest request, come up. This is a safe space. We have a mod or two down there that will police them if they get out of hand. I encourage everybody to come up and express themselves in a civil manner, whether in a spiritual light. We're here to learn from each other. So if anybody has anything they want to share or add, feel free to come up.
Just passing by. It's Michael's birthday.
Happy birthday. Hello, Rachel. I know you're down in there too, unless you ran away.
The paranormal stuff is fascinating. I was on several teams and read a lot of investigations.
I used to ghost hunt.
Oh gosh, so many things that I've experienced. And
Hey, Brim.
Hello.
Hey, how you doing? Is it Julie?
yeah,
Hi.
hope you're doing good. I want to get some
Good.
stories.
I'll try to take and see if I can't pull up my picture, Brim.
No problem. Rachel was just telling, Julie was just talking about her paranormal adventures.
Oh.
I used to ghost hunt too. Mine were creepy.
Oh man, I had a nice little battle with what I'm pretty convinced was death itself.
I fought the devil.
I believe.
I know I did because after I did that, I haven't had no bad spirits come after me after that.
Yep, same. I used to battle these things that looked like Dementors.
Yeah.
Um, some all kinds of ET experiences. Um, Nothing negative anymore.
I had
Okay.
I fought a demon that was like 20 feet high. And that was insanity.
I bet.
I'll tell that story sometime. I have plenty of lives to do it.
Yep. Are you getting it figured out, Rachel?
Yeah, I'm trying to look for it. I have a lot in here. I'm trying to
Did you
find
see
it. Oh, here it is.
the lady? She came up when she had the same picture as that dragon that I had. You missed
No, I
that
don't see
one.
that.
The
I'm
lady
trying to
came up
use.
with a rainbow feather.
It's not letting me use my green screen for some reason.
The
I don't
TikTok's
know.
been weird. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know what's happening. I'm trying to get it figured out. Let me see if I switch this around. The other way. It will let me use it.
I'm going to mute myself for a second, see if I can get my ocean stuff back on.
All right.
Maybe. Here we go.
This is crazy. And I just used it the other day too. And then some days it'll let me, and some days it won't. It's
Yeah,
weird.
it's been like messing up lately. I don't know what's up with TikTok. It won't even let me put. If I say anything spiritual in people's chats, it won't let me. It won't come up. I've noticed that. If I say anything about spirituality, most of the time it won't come up.
I don't know. Let me see. Let me see if we'll do it this way.
I seen wool.
Yeah, that's my blanket. I'm trying to use it, but it's not letting me. It's so aggravating.
Yeah.
Mm, somebody, let me see. I got the green screen thing, but when I go to tap on it, it's not allowing me to use it. I don't know why. Let me see. Show you picture. Okay, I'll show my picture. Let me see. Let's see if it'll let me show it. I don't know. It is just not doing it. Let me see if I go to the other screen.
They did something with the pictures too because it won't let me show certain pictures.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Because there was a couple pictures that I was gonna try to show people online the other day, on Tuesday when I did my live, and I had got a bunch of pictures ready because of a whole folder, and I lined them up right in the beginning of my my camera roll. I tried to put them up and they would not come up.
Now it's letting me do the podium thing, but it's not letting me do the screen thing.
I was trying to get the screen where where you got the little circle and you put yourself in the circle and you can see the giant picture.
Right.
I was trying to do that. It won't let me do that. I don't know how to do that either.
Let me see. Let me turn this off and then turn it back on and see if I can't. Because this is weird. You will connect using audio only. That's weird. And I just used this just the other day. How weird.
Yeah.
Let me see if it'll let me do. Let me see if it'll let me do another picture. It's not even letting me use any of my pictures. Nothing.
I have no idea why it does that.
Oh no.
Good night, Tom. Good night.
Good night.
Good night, Dave.
You remembered his name?
Yep.
Paul said good night, Dave.
Yeah, good night.
Good night, he said.
I can't remember my own name. I can remember some people's.
I'm trying really hard to find it. I know where the picture. I got the picture. It's just not letting me utilize my green screen for some reason.
Yeah, they've been. Something about it's not the right size.
Oh, that too. Yeah, I've experienced that. But you would think that it would let me. Let me see if I can do it that way. I wonder if I can do it, be kind of sneaky about it and do it this way.
I wish they let us put. See, and I understand how some people can have video.
Let me see if I can do it this way. Okay, it's in a smaller box. I don't know why, but you can see it. That's a picture of the little girl that was in my living room that was she was like kneeling down.
Yeah.
And let me see, I'll see if I can't get the other one that's a little bit farther away that you can see what I'm talking about. She was, but yeah, she was in my living room at the coffee table. I didn't notice her at first. And I've posted her on other, there we go, I'll use that one. It's a little bit farther away, but if you take that and blow up, you can, but she's like, she's kneeling down next to the coffee table and she has her arm up on the coffee table.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't notice her at first, and a lot of people are saying, well, it's the reflection from the Buddha, but you can't get a reflection on something if it doesn't have something to reflect on, and you can't get a reflection in midair like that.
I've seen that picture. I've seen that picture before, and when I seen that picture, I knew exactly what it was.
Yep.
It is a wonderful picture.
Thank you. But a lot of people say, well, you have tea lights going, and no, they're not like the burning tea lights, because I have my cat. I have 3 cats, and my daughter has 2 cats. So I try not to like burn candles.
Mm-hmm.
So I try not to burn. So they're battery operated like tea lights.
Yeah.
So, yep. Yep.
And every time I see that, it reminds me of I almost want to say that it's not someone you know, it's someone that wants help.
I don't know. I've kind of like I've had, Brim, we've talked before. I've always had these things happen, you know. I've always had these things happen my entire
I
life.
know, just by the energy that I feel when I see that picture, that she looks at you as a mother figure
Very possibly, yeah.
for guidance. So that's probably why she came to you. She sees you as a mother figure, as a guidance,
Yeah.
and for help. So that's probably what, I don't know if she's still there, but that's what I'm getting from that picture.
Yep. And I have one that I don't know where the ones are that I took of outside. I don't even know where those are anymore.
So if people could like share and share the live and like, that helps the algorithm. I know other people are probably on, but we can do what we can. But I do sense from that, I've always sensed from that picture that it was a childlike, maybe about 9 years old. She feels like it's 9 years old, and she's looking at you as a mother figure, and she wants help. It's not somebody you know. It might even be somebody from a past life, but she's connected to you and maybe a past life, but not in this life.
Yeah. Yep. Interesting.
I'm not going to sugarcoat it like somebody else would. We all know who that is.
Oh, gotcha.
I'm not going to blow that smoke up somebody's butt.
Right.
I'm just going to tell you what I see and what I feel, and that's what I feel. That's what I get.
Yeah, that's interesting though. Yep.
It's more of a childlike innocence. That's what I get.
Oh yeah.
I don't know, but I think she still might be around you.
Yeah, I think so.
Because spirits like that normally don't just go away. Because I have
No.
a spirit that follows me. I call her Hayden. And she, ever since I lived at 1211 Main Street, I had an experience, and I had seen what had happened to her family. And I kind of blocked him and put him up in the basement. The bad guy. I sealed him in the basement. So Hayden and the child follow me now. And every once in a while, I go, Hayden, you still here? Because I know she is, because she messes with my stones. She knocks them over. She moves the keys around. Or sometimes when I'm laying in bed, I can feel the blanket being pulled off me. So I know she's still there. I just don't talk to her as much as I used to anymore. But
My son.
she's still there.
Yeah, my son used to have that kind of thing happen to him too, when he was in high school. Yeah.
But I do know the Palladians and the Tall Whites are looking for you.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Oh. Interesting.
I don't know if they've been visiting you lately, but I feel that they're on the way to you.
Well, did some light language a while back.
Because Epi's the one who's telling me, she said, hold on, I'm getting it right now. She said, her time is approaching.
As in what?
For a new light.
Interesting.
That's what she's saying. She said Rachel is going to have a new light.
In like this life or
Yeah, this life.
oh
I
oh
I am getting the Palladians and the Tall Whites are on their way to you, and because I had went on the ship a while ago. I go on the ship like at least 3 times a week now, so you never know, you know.
right.
And I know from the last time I went up on that ship, they were talking about the Ministry of Light. And they said that Epi said that Rachel and a few others they're about to get a new light. So I guess that
Nice.
might mean new abilities.
Yeah, maybe that could very well mean that. I could see that.
Yeah, and that's what I'm getting from that. There is a lot of energy has been thrown around lately. Do you relate to an angel, don't you?
Yeah. Yep.
Raziel.
Raphael.
I got Raziel. He's a part of my intertwines part of me too. But
Yeah,
I
'cause
know that something divine is coming to you. I don't know what, but that's what they said.
oof, that'd be fantastic. I had to move into the other room because we're kind of sharing space here because my daughter and her daughter's here, and we take turns. We have 2 bedrooms, but we had one as an office, and we got to turn it back into a bedroom again to accommodate everyone. And so we've been kind of like switching off with the one big bedroom that we have. We've been kind of going, me and Dave will go out in the living room and sleep on the couch and stuff like that, and then they'll go in the back room and use that. And so we've been switching off. So I just came in here and at his office desk. Yeah. So
But yeah, there is a lot of, and I know there's something that's definitely going to happen by the end of this year and the beginning of next year, because the stuff that I'm getting from them up there, it's it, 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 it's getting more and more and more. It's like I used to like. It's weird because since January, I would maybe be that I hear something maybe once in a while,
right.
but ever since these time jumps and these shifts, I've been getting things every day, and for the last month and a half, I think I've been up on the ship at least 3 times a week.
Wow, that's a
I
lot.
yeah, and
Yeah.
sometimes I don't know how to handle it because I had an experience the other night, well, a while ago. I don't know if you heard about it, but I can't even express how much beauty it was to see what I seen. It was just phenomenal. It was just something like you know, I don't even know. It was just wonderful.
That's
And
awesome.
I don't know if you want me to share. I'll share the story if you want to hear it.
Yeah, what was it?
Well, area, which is the Palladian that saved me when I was a little child, because that was part of the story earlier, because I said I'd bring her back up, and yeah, her name is Aria, She's the Palladian. And she always comes to me. She's the one who's pulled me on the ship in flesh and blood and in dreams, in visions and whatever else. But I was outside one night and I was emptying the trash and I seen some ships going above and I got pictures of them. I'm like, that's interesting. Why are the stars doing that? Wait a minute, they're not stars. Those are ships. Snap, 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 went pictures. And I caught it on film. And then I took the camera down. I sat by the tree and I was smoking for a minute. And I closed my eyes. And then I opened them. And I'm on her ship. Wow. And she's like, I hope you're ready. Ready for what? I want to show you something that no human has ever seen. I'm like, oh, what is that? I'm like, ooh, what is that? And she's like, hold on. So she grabs my hand and she held my hand. The other thing with touchy. I'm not a touchy person, but she likes to touch me. Ugh. So she touched my hand, my left hand. She held my hand and she goes, and you know how like it looks like a trance warp or something? We like...
Yeah, right. I know what you're saying.
We started the trance warp, and it looked like we were passing outside of the solar system.
Oh, wow.
As we got out of the solar system, the Milky Way got smaller. All the solar systems came by. We whizzing by them. I'm like, where we going? Where we going? She's like, I'm not telling yet. So we keep going. And then all of a sudden, there was this white light. She plows through this white light with her ship, right? We're outside, and we're in interstellar space.
Wow,
when I seen interstellar space, it was the most beautiful, insane thing I've ever seen in my entire life. Earth... how do I even word it? Alright, each universe, this whole universe is in a globe, like a marble, right? And so I'm in interstellar space. I'm looking, and she goes, you see that one? That's where we just came from. And she's pointing to millions of other little orbs. She goes, each one of them hold a universe.
Oh, that's interesting.
And I'm like, what? And I'm seeing like, and I go, and I'm like, whoa, that's beautiful. I go, why is that one red? And why is this one this color? Why is that one this color? Why is this one black? She goes, because different universes have different kinds of beings. That's why they're different colors. I go, oh, that's logical. And so she goes, but you know something? There's something I got to tell you. I want to show you something real good. She looks over, she goes, you see that big gold one over there? I'm like, yeah. She goes, that's where you're from.
Oh, wow. That's pretty.
And I'm like, what? She goes, you just didn't think you were from the area, did you? That was just a colony. Because most of the universes have colonies. That is just a colony. I'm like, really? She's like, yeah. And I go, well, what about humans? And boy, did she bust out laughing. She busted out laughing. I'm like, what is so funny? She goes, humans are not just in that universe. There's trillions of humans, zillions of humans. She goes, but in this universe, these humans over here are the newest group of humans. The newest like creative humans.
Like the hybrids?
Yes. The universe we're in are like the hybridist ones.
Right.
And I'm like, well, that's interesting. And then I'm like, she opens up the thing more. And I'm seeing all kinds of ships going back and forth. all through
Well,
interstellar space. I go, what are those? She goes, oh, silly. She goes, those are different kind of spaceships for some that need it. Some beings don't need a ship at all. I go, really? She goes, yeah. She goes, you know, I find it funny. I go, what? She goes, you all think you guys need spaceships to travel.
yeah, you know, astral travel, out
She
of
goes,
body.
you humans, she goes, you humans don't need a body at all.
I can see
She
that
goes,
too.
you guys are on the precipice of becoming a crystallized being. When you become the crystallized being, you can go anywhere and do anything.
Yeah.
I was like,
I've-
what? And when I was looking out, and oh my word, there was so many beautiful things, so many ships, and so many. It was like, it reminded me of I was on a highway. That's what it looked like. You know when you're on a highway and you see tons of cars,
Yeah.
different kinds?
Yeah,
That's what
the
it looked like.
The astral highway.
That's what it looked like exactly. And it was ships and there was beings. There was all kinds. And then there was, I noticed, I thought this was funny because we were sitting there and she showed me all this. And it looked like this rainbow dragon was flying in the sky and it came right to the ship and tapped the front of the ship where I was standing, and she said, and she goes, "Oh look, there's one of your kind right now." I'm like, "Huh." She goes, "Well, I'm gonna bring you back now." I goes, "I don't want to go back."
Right?
I'm
Don't
like,
blame you.
"Hell no! Don't bring me back there." She's like,
Yeah.
"No, you have to go back because you still got things to learn." I'm like, "I
Okay.
don't want to go back. I don't want to go back.
Yeah.
I don't want to go back." So she brought me back. So about a week late, about last week, this is what happened last week. I teleported. I was sitting here smoking, and I was in a meditation, and I appeared on a tall white ship with Elfie. She's like, "What are you doing? How did you get here?" And I'm like, "I don't know." And she goes, "Area." So she calls Area. She comes over. Area just teleports in, and she's like, "What is he doing on the ship? Did you bring him?" She's like, "No, I didn't." He's like, "He's doing it himself now." And one of the other beings come in the room, and she never spoke to me, and I never heard her speak. And she comes up, she's like, well, look at what we got here. We got the golden dragon popping in and out when he wants to now. Look what you guys did. She's yelling at the other one. She goes, "Look what you guys did. Now he's going to be coming up here doing whatever he wants." And the other two started laughing. They thought it was hilarious. And I'm like, so I started jumping from all of the ships that are around Earth.
Yeah.
I started visiting, even the Ashtar Command ship. I even went on that ship. And I was jumping all around to the ships. And then I wanted to hijack Area ship and go back to the thing. And she's like, as soon as I jumped down her ship, she goes, "No, you ain't hijacking my ship." She goes, "I did not."
Did you explain this on Commander's room?
Some of it.
Yeah, I thought so, because I thought I heard you say some of this. Yeah.
Yeah, some of it, but he didn't get the update version yet. What happened the last two times after that, and this is what you're getting. So she's like, "I do not give you permission to use my ship." I'm like, "But come on, I want to go back." She goes, "No, you can't." So I come back down here. She sends me back down here. So about 3 days later, like 3 days ago, I teleported back on her ship. And
She's gonna get mad at you. She's gonna be aggravated with you. You keep teleporting.
I teleported. I was on her ship, and I jacked the ship, and I'm in interstellar space, and I'm sitting there going, "Wow, this is beautiful. I never want to leave." She pops in and goes, "Oh, You have a serious golden dragon. You're in more trouble sometimes. She goes,
I've never.
I get it.
I've never. Yeah.
She's like, I get it.
I haven't had my dragon do astral travel with me yet, but she always seems to be grounded to earth instead of wanting to astral travel. But that would be cool to astral travel.
Yours is a more of a earth-based one.
Well, she is. She's very, she's very much about, she's very earth-based. Yeah.
The same thing with Trina's. Trina's dragon, too. Trina's dragon doesn't want to come out from behind a waterfall. I have no idea why, but it wants to sit behind a waterfall. Every time I go to try to get to that dragon, it sits behind a damn waterfall. Don't know why.
Yeah.
Yours doesn't want to leave Earth. I've seen yours. She does not want to leave Earth.
She's pretty cool. She's a pretty cool one. And I didn't even realize any of this until just a few years ago. I didn't understand any of this. And through a lot of travel, astral travel, and going out of body and having out of body experiences and stuff, I've learned a lot about my dragon and who she is, and
she's very divine. She's got very holy and divine magic. Yes.
She's white. She's pure white. Yeah. And well, for the most part of her, she's white, and there's a lot of fur on her. She's got a lot of fur from the top of the crown of her head down the back on the back and part of her chest, and a little bit on her legs, but it's very, very thick fur. She's got scales on the front of her chest that are almost like a very, very light seafoam green, and then there's silver scales, and her eyes are like a seafoam green. And she's gigantic. She's huge. She is so huge. She's I look at some of the buildings when I go over on Beachside. We have a lot of these condominiums that are 12 and 13 stories high. And I look up, and that's what she's like. She's that big. She's really, really big. She's
a holy dragon. She's a holy priestess dragon. And we went to in Trina. I went to another another person that does dragons on here. Trina went to that person. I said, Trina, go to that person. And that person had validated everything that I told Trina. And Trina didn't say nothing to her. She said exactly what I told Trina. Trina's like, holy crap. I'm like, see, I told you.
Awesome. You know what's really weird is, what was it, last week I was into the Dollar Tree store and I was looking around at some of the Halloween stuff, and I had some things in my cart, and I had a lady come up to me and she goes, oh my goodness, she goes, where do you get that? What aisle? And I said, it's over in the next aisle. She goes, that's some really cool stuff you have in there. She goes, can I ask you a question right out of the open blue? And I had my daughter and I think it was just my daughter with me. And I said, sure. She goes, do you do readings? And I said, yes. I said, I do, but they're spirit-led. I said, I just can't read everybody. And she goes, I could really use your help. And she goes, I'm going to give you my number. I haven't called her yet. And she goes, but I could really use your help. And I gave her my phone, and she put down, she put her number in and her first name, and then she put in the Dollar Tree lady beside her name. I thought it was cute, but she wanted me to give her a reading, and I haven't contacted her yet, but I'm going to take and contact her. But if I can do a reading on her, I don't like people giving me information. I don't want to know anything about her, because I want this, like I said, to be spirit-led, and for them to let me know what they want me to know. And I mean, it is what it is, but
And
that's
that's
how
what
it
I did with
happens.
Julie. That's what I did for Julie last Tuesday. I gave her a dragon reading, and it was everything that I said was basically true.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like,
Yeah.
and that's why when somebody else did that dragon stuff, I was infuriated
Yeah. It's,
because he did it
yeah.
wrong. He did it wrong, and you're
Yeah.
not supposed to do it like that.
Well, a lot of people, unfortunately, too, are just, how can I say, like sleight of the hand, magic trick wannabe, like they want to do this. And I never knew that I had this ability for a long time until I had a few things happen. And then I realized I did. And then, like I said, and I've always had spiritual things happen around me.
Carnival Barker.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, that's it. That's it. Yep. That's it.
But
That's what it
yeah,
is. Is he still doing lives? I don't even know.
no, I haven't seen him on in like some couple months, and he comes up with
Yeah.
someone in their family had a heart problem, blah blah blah, blah
Mm-hmm.
blah blah.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, yeah, whatever. I don't care.
Remember I told you a while back that
Uh
he
huh.
was, yeah, uh-huh.
I had the
That
same thing. Remember?
it was not going to be good for him because there's a lot of deities and entities that are not happy with him. So, but
Yeah, Trina says down here that lady Brim took me to said something about drinking the Kool-Aid,
mm-hmm.
which we know where that Kool-Aid came from.
Yep.
And the biggest part of that is he was pulling the dragons that he ain't supposed to do that, for
No.
one. And two,
Yeah.
The other thing was, it wasn't just the dragon things that bugged me, was he said everybody has a dragon.
No, well,
Not everybody
Well-
has a dragon.
a lot of people do, but it's a lot of people don't know that they do. You know what I mean? It's like I mean, I was in my late 50s until I found out about mine.
Yeah.
You know,
I mean,
it
some
took
people
me
have.
that long.
Some people can be the dragon, or some have a dragon with them. But in all reality, though, I would say there are some people that are just don't have one at all.
Yeah. And some people have riding dragons,
Yeah.
that they can ride, and that's very, very special. Some people have dragons that don't like you to be on their back either.
Mm-hmm.
They don't like that. They're there for another purpose for you.
And some people are just a damn dragon.
Yeah. I'm a witch, bitch. Yep.
And it's funny
Absolutely.
because I knew this year was going to be something when somebody came, you know what? It's the year of the golden dragon. I'm like, oh, brother.
Excuse me.
And ever since this year started, I've been pushed to levels that I don't know if I can even do myself at this point.
Mm-hmm. Well, right now I think I'm being tested with quite a few things myself. That I don't know.
I'm definitely having patience with it because all of the guides, all of the divine beings up there, and a lot of the spiritual people all say the same damn thing for me, that I'm supposed to be a spiritual leader. And I have a thing about being a leader. I don't want to be a leader. I want to be like everybody else. And
Well, you shouldn't. Yeah, but you know what? You shouldn't want to really be like everybody else. You should be unique and truly true to yourself. You
Yeah.
shouldn't want to be like everybody else. So, Brim,
and the
that's
funniest
what
part
makes you
about it
unique.
is they all said the same thing. That's what makes a great leader, the ones that don't want to be one. I'm like, oh, great.
Yeah. Yep. You just need to take and be yourself. Be authentic to you.
Yeah.
And, you know,
Like I say, we're all learning. We're just at different levels.
we're going to continue to learn. It's an ongoing learning experience. It's not just one and done and it's over with. It's an ongoing learning experience throughout while you're in this realm. Excuse me. Oh, I don't know if I have water in the refrigerator in here.
You know, I've always wanted to ask you, have any of your family ever been to Salem?
Yeah.
Did you have a family relative in Salem that passed on as a witch?
I don't know. I don't know.
She
I
was a
don't
white
know.
witch.
I don't know about that. Maybe. I'm not sure. Very possible.
Because every time I see you or hear you speak sometimes, I get that there is it's almost like she's a white witch, but she wore green and she was burned.
Yeah. I know.
And
I've had
I don't know why I keep seeing the image every time you come around. Every time I talk to you, I see that image in my head. And she's wearing a green dress, and she's got like
oh,
a floral crown on her head. She's got like dark reddish hair, and she's tied against a stake and was lit up.
well, when I was born with very white hair. Then my hair turned to very, very bright red. And my hair is very much, it used to be very, very, very long and curly, curly and red. And my granddaughter's the same way, and my son is the same way. And then in my older years, my hair has gone white. And back in the day, I used to dye my hair black, like a raven black. And I went from my red hair to my black hair for many years, and then my hair just started going white. And then I cut my hair all off. So, but I've had past life dreams before and visions, and I remember as a witch
I know she's trying to tell you something.
centuries ago that I was being chased through the forest. I can remember that. I was being chased through the forest. I don't know, they were after me for something, and I was being chased because they wanted to tie me and drown me. It wasn't a burning, they want to drown me.
I'm getting two dates. I'm getting 1432, and I get 1683.
Well,
I don't know why, but those are the dates.
okay.
But mostly the one that really shows more is the one that's from like the late 1893, something like around that time era. It feels
Yeah.
like something happened in that one. I don't know why, but that's 18 something. 1890, 1893, something about that time era. I don't know what it is, but it's got something to do with you and a witch.
Yeah, because I remember I used to have like a little, like kind of like a little, almost like a little cabin in the woods, and I would grow herbs, and I would go hunting for herbs, and I wasn't too far away from the water either, that I had to where I could go and get water. But I do remember in one of my dreams they were chasing me, and they drowned me. They took me and they drowned me. It was very vivid. I mean, I remember them tying me up, and I remember them putting me in the water, and they thought that I was going to struggle and fight, but I didn't, because they were holding me underneath the water, and I just let it happen. I just gave into it and just let it happen, and I knew what they were doing. And I remember being underneath the water, and my clothes were heavy because I had layers of clothes on.
Because I am seeing a log cabin, and you were using herbs, and you had a brown pouch with you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
There was
because
a
I was always collecting herbs and stuff. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I feel that, and I've always felt that there's a lot of Wiccan magic around you,
Mm-hmm.
especially that white white witch or green witch. I think she's white, but she
Mm-hmm.
wore green.
You
She
know, it's
she
funny.
she's very young.
Brim, just today and yesterday, I was looking at a lady, I think it was on TikTok, that makes crowns and headpieces.
Mm-hmm.
And I was just looking at one that was very, because I like to be an earth witch. I was looking at one that had green vines and little flowers on it.
Hmm.
And it was really cute and dainty, and it had a little piece that went down in front of the forehead, and it was really cute. But it was very, very earthy looking. Yeah.
But she's trying to talk to you.
Yeah, there's a lot that I haven't been doing lately that I need to get back into the rituals of doing again, because I used to take and do my singing bowl like every other day and burn my white candle and burn sage and frankincense and myrrh and do all that, and I used to do that like every other day, and I
She
haven't been
said.
doing that for months.
She said. Hold on.
Hmm.
Use your drum.
Yeah, I got my drum out in my cabin. I just took him just like a few days ago. I took my drum from the living room and I took it and put it out in my cabin up in the loft. And I got it out there. I'm not hearing it if it beats, if it drums, but because it does beat by itself. But I have those
That's
out there.
that's her. She's the one beating the drum. She's trying to get your attention.
Hmm. And you said this is a white witch?
Yeah.
Yeah.
She's a white witch. She was burned. She healed. She was healing she lived outside the village, and she would heal certain people. They weren't afraid of her, but a lot of people were afraid of her because she was healing. But there was a sickness in the village, and they blamed her for it, but it wasn't her at all.
Mm-hmm.
So they hunted her, and they did it.
Oh, wow.
And she didn't cry. She just sit there. She goes. She just when that happened, she just was
Mm-hmm.
straight faced and goes,
Yep.
"I did my work."
Yeah, I was the same way when they took and drowned me. I was the same way. I was the same exact way. I knew what they were gonna do.
She
Like I
was in
said, I
her
knew what
early
they were gonna do.
20s.
I did try to run and get away, but they got me. I did try to run, but they did get me. But and
So I suggest looking at the drum and try meditating with that drum.
oh, I will once I get my cabin done. Right now we're working on Dave started on his office over in his cabin, and so we're trying to get his floor put in, his new flooring in his cabin. Then we're gonna be putting the new flooring in my cabin. Then I'm gonna start. Then I can go out there and meditate and
Yeah,
do my
because
drum and.
there's something she wants to tell you, but I don't know what the message is. It's not for me, but she's like,
Hmm.
I can see it. Is it a round drum?
Yeah. It's a big round one.
Yeah. I see her
Yep.
hitting it.
It's actually a great big, huge, gigantic native drum that I got from my neighbor. I purchased it from him, and it's an Indian native drum, and it is gigantic, and it's beautiful. And I was told that the drumming, because he was told that the guy that he got it from, it came from a huge Indian ceremony hall. I don't know where. I don't know where at, but they used it in a lot of ceremonies. And this thing is, it's beautiful. And then when I brought it home and I set it up on the couch, it barely could fit on the couch. And I set it up on the couch, and me and Dave was watching TV one night. We were watching a show, and all of a sudden it just thumped by itself. And then we noticed that every day, 3 and 4 and 5 times a day, it would thump. And I started acknowledging it, and I'm like, I hear you, drum. Or when I get up in the morning making coffee, and Dave would, just before Dave would be heading out to work, it would thump. And Dave started saying, "Hello, drum. We hear you. You know, we hear
That's
you. We hear
her.
you thumping."
That's her getting your attention.
Excuse me. So, Julie, what do? You're very quiet.
There we go. I'm actually right now. I just turned on my Ovilus
Yep.
just to see if anything that would come through that was relevant.
Yeah, I have one too. I do all this. I do ghost hunting too. Yeah,
It's just
I'll have to add you.
yeah. I was gonna say I did add you.
Yeah, I'm following you back. Yeah, because me and my daughter get into that.
Because of some things that happened. One of the main properties where I led investigation. Oh gosh, so much stuff happened. Yeah, I just was like, I don't want anything to do with it anymore. And I was really frustrated.
Where you're living now?
In Kansas City.
I mean, though, is it where you're living now, in the home that you're in?
It's fairly close. Like I don't even like to drive past the place or look at pictures. They have an account on here too, and I know it felt like that place was trying to reach out to me again. They kept showing up on my FYP, so I just had to block them. There's like investigators there.
You keep kind of breaking in and out.
Oh, it might be because of this thing. It said something about 13 people. Or it could be my because of my YouTube, I don't know. The property is like Ghost Adventures has been there, the tax team's been there.
Mm-hmm.
This place was really bad. And
Is it a little white house?
no, but that's a place that I volunteer at. That I've done a lot of work at and meditate, and I feel like I care like a shepherd of the place, a caretaker, protector. Actually, it's there's a sycamore there that I thought things from and made staffs.
Have you been seeing shadows?
Not really anymore. I
But
mostly see colors, different colors, flashes of light. I used to see shadows a lot.
so so they've stopped.
Mm-hmm.
I don't. There's some kind of feedback. I'm having a hard time hearing you. I don't know what it is.
Let me try adjusting this a little bit. See if that helps. Maybe I need to turn down my music.
Oh, I don't hear. I don't even hear any music. It's like It's almost like a static.
Yeah.
Huh. Let me try. I kind of hear a little staticky too, but is it better?
When you're closer to your mic, yeah, yeah.
Let me see if I can move this. I haven't been watching so long. I kind of stopped doing them for a while.
Yeah.
Ah! Oh my goodness. Let's see if that's better. I just didn't want to have to hold it. Is it better?
Turn down. Let me turn down mine. Maybe I got to turn down mine or something. Let me see. Yeah, I used to. I still see shadows from. They come and they go. The shadows do, but I used to have white little, almost like white little specks that used to. White little specks that used to be like. They'd be off to like my peripheral vision,
Mm-hmm.
and I'd see either like one or two, but I would notice them out of the corner of my eye, and I'd go to look at them, and they're gone. They're like poof. It's like, I couldn't always get like. I used to have those. Oh my gosh, I had those for years.
All I've gotten is streaks of light.
Streaks of light.
At the corner of my eye, yeah.
Hmm.
And it's always out of my left eye. I I see something like out of my left eye. It's like something like running by real fast. But then I look
Yep.
and there's nothing there.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
I
Yeah.
thought
But
I
it
was
was like
me.
what, hun? What were
I
you
thought it
gonna
was
say?
just me going crazy.
No, no. There's a lot of actually. You look it up, and you'll find out that there are a lot of people that experience the same things that you go through too. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They experience the lights. They experience the shadows. Like what was it? Like a couple weeks ago, I was. We bought a couple brand new mattresses, and we put one on the floor in the living room for one of the girls. And I went to pick it up one day because I was going to sweep the floor and fold up the blankets and stuff. And I went to pick it up, and my husband was sitting in the great big huge chair that we have in the living room. And when I picked up the mattress, it looked like a little round. It was kind of very odd shape. It looked round, but like with a long tail on it, and it was black. And it went from one end of the mattress on the floor to the other end, and it went right into the chair that he was sitting in. I'm like, yeah, and my head followed it. My head like literally followed it behind the mattress. I'm like, what? And Dave goes, what was it that you seen? I'm like, I just seen like something shoot across. And my daughter goes, well, was it one of the cats? I said, no. I said, it was just a little black, just black orb type of thing with like a tail on it. I said it was really weird. I said it went right into the chair where Dave's sitting.
Like a black wisp.
Mm-hmm. Yep. And it was like pew, and it was gone.
I've seen a lot of the black ones. And, at that property that I didn't care for, we were in the worst part, well, one of the worst parts, the worst building, I should say. And I had on my black light. There were motion sensors set up and everything. We all saw this black thing that chewed across the ceiling. And it was nice that other people saw it besides me.
Right.
You know, if you're leading people around, you want them to experience also. That's why they're there. But yeah, there was a little girl down there. But I figured out what her actual name was. But we all called her something different because we didn't want anybody to try to do anything. But there were so many entities and things there. Their growls, something growled right in my face. I had a bunker.
Yeah.
And yeah, I left my stuff and like, all right, I'll come back with somebody else. And I forgot my flashlight in there. The sun was going down. And this property has been so many different things. It's been a POW camp, had the first hospital in our county, for hundreds of miles.
You said it was a hospital at one time?
One of the buildings, it had been a resort, an Octo's home, a poor farm, an orphanage, and a school.
Oh wow.
A lot of stuff.
So there's a lot of residual energy there.
Oh gosh, I hear people open and close doors when I was the only one in the building, footsteps, keys dangling, been touched, watched somebody get grabbed by the hips and dragged backwards, and to the point where their heels left marks and the debris on the ground. I got slapped.
Wow.
I mean, there's so many more crazy things that have happened there, and experiences other people have had. But yeah, it got pretty intense. I had to start telling, cleansing myself and saying nobody can follow me home.
Hey, Brim,
Yeah?
take and mute your mic, and I'm going to mute mine too so I can see if I can hear her better.
Okay. Let me see how to do that.
Yeah, it was kind of the thing I was doing.
How do I do that?
It's down at the bottom. It's your mic. It should show on your screen. It's your mic. You just.
Yeah, hopefully you don't hear the clicking anymore. I have one of those cloud fountains that's close by, and sometimes that.
I'm looking. I don't see it. Oh.
It's like a
I don't hear him anymore.
There you go. Now you're clear. It was coming from Brim's.
Huh. So, yeah, if as far as paranormal experiences, I mean, I've even actually it happened in this house. A lot of stuff, being teenagers messing around with Ouija boards. But that was freaky. I got picked up, and the chair I was sitting in got picked up and like tossed over, and me and my friends all freaked out. That was a whole other ordeal that lasted for years. Managed to get whatever this thing was, to where it was stuck in one spot in the hallway upstairs, and I would see it all the time. I could feel it. The animals didn't lay in the hallway anymore, but it was transparent with glittery stuff in it. Really hard to describe because there was like a disturbance in the air, but yet not solid.
Right. Right. Almost like would you explain it kind of like almost like looking through a heat wave?
Kind of. Yeah, it was odd because you could see that there was something clearly there, and I mean, you could even go and put your hand up and go down and feel how like tall this thing was, because there was a change in the temperature. You could feel air swirling. I came here with someone and we were chasing it around, and at that point what we could see was just this black like mist going around the house, and it went up in the ceiling fan and was shaking that, tried to hide behind a dresser, all kinds of stuff. And especially at that age, it was really freaking me out. That's when I started really, really wanting to sleep with my bedroom door closed. And I'd hear like a hand on my door and like nails dragging down it. My mom actually sleeps in my old bedroom upstairs, that's a whole nother story. But knocking on the second story window when there's no way for anyone to do that. Turning lights off and on.
Does she experience anything?
She used to. Whatever it is, like she saw it leave when I moved to California and like follow me. But yeah, but that's gone. So, and I have my whole different set of issues. Brim knows a little bit about the family line. And yeah, so I'm always in my space setting up these really strong boundaries and going around having to seal things, close portals. It's been exhausting, but
Is she opening them?
it was. She shouldn't have any abilities anymore. As far as what I'm receiving, that's all been taken away. And this is like her chance to correct not just what she's done in this life, but in a past life as a blood witch.
That's why I asked you if she was opening up portals.
Oh, she had been. I went around and closed them. I've had to seal the mirrors and the places I was guided to also close. I was sitting here asking my team and Archangel Michael, what to use to do this, because I had used some frankenmyrrh and frankincense that they had put some energies into with me. And I ended up needing to make this mix. And it's kind of ironic. Jar.
Mm-hmm.
And it says Blue Flame on it.
There you go.
So yeah, I went around and used that everywhere I was told to. And yeah, the energy has shifted, but like, it's weird because there's times where it's like it's not her. And like, especially like right after I had done these things, she was upstairs leaning over the banister looking down at me, and she started asking me these weird questions. And we both have brown eyes, but hers just turned black. And she's like, well, why'd you do those in all the places that you did, and blah, blah, blah. Like, if you want to know, ask Archangel Michael, ask Source, ask God. I'm like, everything was up to them. And she kept I could see her getting more and more irritated. And I just kept with the same answer. And I was starting to get kind of pissed off. She finally was like, okay. I was just wondering. And she went back in the room.
So you guys kind of like keep your distance as much as possible away from each other. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah, now that I'm older, I realize and have memories of a lot more things and how I was treated and how the women were always so busy doing things and like I was an annoyance to them. And like even though my grandma, I loved her, and even though she babysat me and things, she was always just kind of like towards me. It was really weird. And my great grandmother, she actually lived diagonal a block away, and I'd go stay the night there sometimes, and it just always felt so weird there. And I know witch spells, and I even have like spells of Sarna hanging up here and in a couple other places. But yeah, there's been a lot of really dark stuff in our family and just grossness and secrets and and I had questions. Now I don't even care anymore. I just am like, I just want it, all of it to stop. Yeah, I'm just so much different than they are.
You can also try writing down your thoughts on a piece of paper and like literally going out underneath the full moon with a piece of sage and some like a bay leaf and write on the bay leaf what you want to stop and burn it underneath the full moon. There's doing that too, to clear out your sacred space for you so you feel protected,
Yeah, I feel pretty protected actually. Like I feel, and I don't mean this in an egotistical way at all, but I feel much stronger than her. Like she's very narcissistic, and I've stopped feeding that. And that's helped a lot. But yeah, it's interesting. Like I've always felt like she resented having me.
have
Have you ever had conversations with her or have tried to have conversations?
Oh yeah. Yeah, I have. And she always like denies everything, and then it's always my fault, and just explosive. It reminds me of a toddler fit.
Mm.
And just completely derails and goes off the topic, and gets kind of aggressive. I'm just like, wow, okay. So it's always really hard to have any kind of conversation with her. Like the times that I've always needed her the most, like in serious situations, completely abandoned.
You've had to deal with that,
Mm-hmm.
That's because a child growing up needs to be nurtured, and their brain is like a sponge,
Mm-hmm.
and they need to be lovingly nurtured, and
Right.
not like you're a problem or you're cast out of your own. That's not always a good situation, really.
No, like, ugh. Yeah, just so many things. Like, I was sick all the time, and she'd always be like, "Oh, you're a hypochondriac," and all this stuff. Like, I would seriously be sick to where the school would even call and be like, "You need to come get her. She's sick." And by the time I'd get to the doctor, they'd be like, "Oh my God, why didn't you get her sooner? Like, this is horrible." And I remember getting some kind of antibiotic shot that was so strong I passed out. And I woke up with the smelling salts actually shoved in my nose. Yeah, I was sick a lot. But one of my other friends, I shared the live, I was hoping he'd come on. But he's a psychic medium and channels, and he said that he could see her like sprinkling stuff over my food and stuff like that.
Yeah. Yep.
And
Mm-hmm.
like he said, yeah, she's been trying to make you a sacrifice. And I'm like, well, I'm still here. I ain't going anywhere. Like, I've been in some of the most horrific situations, and somehow I'm still here.
Yep.
So
and you're that much stronger for it. You're that much stronger for it. And now that you're an adult, she can't push you around like she used to or treat you like she used to. And for someone that has had control over you for so long, and now that you're an adult and you realize and recognize what's going on, that can be very frustrating for her because she knows that she doesn't have any power over you.
Right. Yeah, it's down to now where just really financial control. My grandfather, who I was extremely close with, he didn't let me know when he was in a nursing home that he was getting transitioning, and that he had passed away and had a funeral. I didn't get, like, I heard it from my cousin, and I was just distraught, because he was like always the one, like, kind of my protector. So that has been really hard. Like,
Yeah, because anything that's good for you
They don't want you to be part of that. They don't want to, they don't want you to,
Right.
know anything that's going to hurt you or harm you or belittle you or make you look less than.
Well, and it, my grandpa and I were close enough. He showed me how he did all of his accounting. He told me about how many bank accounts he had, what was in them, how he lived off the interest. About basically like a will, like what he wanted to go to who. And so I was already aware of that like a long time ago when he was still with us and living in this house. But then afterwards, my mom was like, "Oh no, you didn't have any inheritance. You never did." And I'm like, "Yeah, I did." I said we had talked about it, and I told her that not only that, but my cousin, my grandpa actually asked me what I thought if he should take away his inheritance, and I just remember being like, "Well, just because my cousin's in that space now, it doesn't mean he will be whenever." I'm like, I wouldn't do that. I was really going through it at the time. Nobody.
But if you know where he went through or what company, and to have his will drawn up and you were his inheritor, as an adult you have every right to look that information up and find out if you were inherited anything.
Right, because like I never saw, and actually that's a message that I was giving to like ask her to see the will then.
Yeah. I think you can go, I don't know, it's a county clerk, but if you could maybe go into the county clerk and ask them if you where you could find out about his inheritance, and go from there. Do you drive? Yeah, go to the county clerk and say, where would I be able to look up inheritance? And they might be able to help you there. I don't know. And just they might ask you for his name and say, well, I'm looking for his will. I know that he had a living will, and I just want to see his will or a copy of his will or something. Or where can I go and find his will? They might be able to help you there.
Yeah, I need to do something because my grandpa, he was like a father to me. He was such a huge protector. And my stepdad was as well when he came into the picture, no matter how traumatic all of that event was. But yeah, those two people were, who I knew I could count on and could talk to about anything, and they'd always be right there. And my dad has visited me a few times. I've seen my grandpa, and I've heard him, especially like if I'm out in the shop and I'm working on stuff, I can hear him like, yeah, that ought to work, kid. That looks pretty good. Or, or maybe you should try this, or look over here, and stuff like that. And his hat's hanging out there and a picture of him. And,
nice.
Yeah. So
well, I'm gonna take and go and see what my kids are doing, what my daughter's doing, what my granddaughter's doing. And Julie, it was a pleasure meeting you, sweetie. And we'll definitely we added each other, so we'll chat again.
Yeah,
definitely. I'm always lurking around somewhere. I'm always looking around somewhere. Brim knows me. So, yeah, we'll definitely talk some more, even if you want like a one-on-one, just me and you speaking or something too, just
Right on.
chilling,
It,
okay? Well, Brim, I'm off, my love. Peace out.
Peace out. Have a good day. Night.
How are you? Yeah, night. Yeah, I will. See you around.
See ya. Well, I was.
I told you I've got stories for days.
Yeah.
Like people have told me, like, "Oh, you should write a book." I'm like, I couldn't. There's too, and my brain squirrels all over the place.
Right. All the time. I can't process anything anymore because my brain's like.
Right. Well, and one of the things that I was going to mention too is that I used to get really upset at these paranormal events and even the shows because, okay, so these people are stuck there and need help and have even asked for help. Why aren't you helping them? And so I started doing that on my own. And so now, like, I've got very strict boundaries around who is allowed into my space and what level of help they need. They have to absolutely need me. And so it's very rare that a spirit that needs help transitioning and going is able to come through. And I've gotten to the point where, not that I don't care to know their story and about them, but I have so many things going on in my mind. I just want to help them go where they need to go, and that's it. And not feel what they felt and all of that, because it just got to be too much. So that's just kind of where I'm at on that.
Right.
Yeah.
We'll get like that.
It let's see, 2 years ago, myself and my team actually did it, and I was on the phone texting with some friends that had a Divic box in the basement, and it had gotten opened up and they needed help dealing with that. And I'm like, holy shit. And so I was asking my team, I was in a swimming pool at the time at an amusement park, just hanging out, meditating. And I'm like, guys, can you do this? Let's do it? And they're like, yeah, as long as he does exactly what you say when you say it, we can handle it. I'm like, wow, okay. And it all happened, and they got it closed. I told them to seal it, put a salt ring around it, and decide what they want to do with it. But that was wild.
That is wild.
I was like, holy crap.
I've never really messed with a David box.
I don't want to. I never wanted to.
I did mess with a Devil Bible. That's probably the worst. The Ouija board.
Oh god, the Ouija boards. Ugh. I just
my head from the Ouija board.
After the experiences I've had with those, I haven't even said that word in years. Like, that's how much I dislike them, because I don't think people realize what they're doing and how serious it can be.
I used to every time we go to a store, my son wants to go down to the toy area, and then every time we start to get near the Ouija boards, I'm like, yeah, no. I won't even go down the aisle, or I'll just go around that area. I'm like, no. Don't give me.
Yep.
Okay, because I got a scar on the side of my head from one.
What?
I got a scar on the side of my head from one.
Holy shit, what happened?
Um, I don't know if I ever told this story. Um, I was with my friend Sean, and he was kind of like into like, that kind of stuff. I was more into, the spiritual stuff. So one day he said, "Hey, you want to come over to my house?" I was like, "Is it gonna be like that Bible thing, that satanic Bible I touched and everything went crazy?" He's like, "No, no, no." So I get off, I was like, "Okay, sure, whatever." So I go over his house. No, no, this son of a pulls out a damn Ouija board. I'm like, "Oh hell no, man!" I was like, "No, man, this is an old one. This is not one of the new ones. This is one." And he pulls this thing out, and I'm not even kidding you. This thing was huge, and it was old as hell. This thing looked like it was made like in the 1600s or some shit. And he pulls this thing out. I said, "Where'd you get this?" He goes, "My grandmother had this, and she said never to use it, and this and that, but I'm going to use it because I don't really care." He goes, "I took it from her house." I'm like, "Okay." So, me being a foolish kid, being a skeptic I am, I was like 14, 15 years old at the time. And we get on the Ouija board, and you're trying to do the triangle and ask the questions and this and that. I'm like, "You got your hands on it." It's like, "No, I don't got my hands on it, whatever." And it's like, "Let me try it myself." He goes, "No, you're not supposed to try it yourself."
Right.
So I was like, "Shut up." Shut up. I don't believe this. I think this is bullcrap anyway. So I didn't even have my hands touching the damn thing. Because I want, I'm a skeptic. I want to see if the thing's friggin' moving or not. He wasn't touching it. My hands, I could feel I was like that far away from the thing. I wasn't touching it. And he said, "Is there anything here?" Didn't move. I'm like, "Yeah, whatever. This is fucking bullshit." It started going like this, and I'm like, "Yeah, there's somebody here. Who are you?" NobusI. Basically, it said none of your business. And I'm like, oh, so we're. And then I got real pissed.
Yeah.
Well, you, you piece of crap. I was like, "You don't have the balls to do it. You ain't gonna be." I totally went off on this thing.
Yeah.
I said things that even a sailor would make a sailor blush. And as soon as I did it, this thing's moving around the board. I take my hands off the thing. This thing's still going around. This thing was moving around the board by itself. It came at me and went, skinned me right on the side of the head. Still have that scar to today
Holy shit.
on the side of my head. And I was like, "Out this board, you can take this board and shove it up your a-hole." I was like, "No freaking way am I ever touching that damn thing again." I was like, we're taking this board, I'm gonna burn the son of a, and I'm gonna throw it inside the ground. I was like, "Ain't no damn way." And I said, "Yeah, whatever, goodbye."
Mm-hmm.
So we took this board. We went out in the middle of the woods. He agreed after what he seen. He's like, "Yeah, we'll burn this something." We burnt the board in the woods.
Weird shit happened?
Oh no! Just wait. We burnt the board. We burnt the platchet. We buried it in the ground. We walk back to the house. We go in this room. It's sitting on the bed. I was like, "No, dude. Nope. I turned in the room and I walked right back out. I said, no, I'm not, no. He said that he had to sneak it back in his grandmother's house to get rid of it. He said he threw it away and come back. I say, then he actually confessed to his grandmother like 5 years later. He goes, we took that Ouija board from the house. She just really, because I was sitting there and he goes, yeah, he goes, I took the Ouija board from the house and I was going to use it with Paul. He said, what happened? And he's like, man, we were doing all this stuff with the board and it wouldn't, and it was just being crazy. She's like, yeah, like she knew. And I was like, we burnt the damn thing and we buried it in the ground. And Sean goes, and it was back on the bed. She goes, sometimes you just don't mess with forces you can't explain, and you don't know. And she goes up, she looks in the chest, and it's still in there. It was in there. It was still in the chest.
Oh.
Did you burn this? He said, yeah, we did. We burned it. We watched it burn. It didn't look like it burnt. It didn't look like it burnt. But you know what's funny part about this was? On the plate, it had my blood on the corner of it.
It had what?
It had my blood on the point of the planchette.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, it got me bad. I couldn't even show you. I don't know if I can, but I don't know if you see the scar.
Oh, yeah, right there. Right.
It goes all the way back to my head. It went right straight back.
Yeah. That's pretty serious.
And I was like, that's the last time I messed with a Ouija board. And after that, I never went near one again because of that.
Mm-hmm.
Like, yeah, no, I'm not playing with that shit. No.
Yeah, me, oh gosh. Like, so after I got tossed in the chair while they were playing with the Ouija board, we we got freaked out and we left. Of course, it started like storming and stuff. We're like, holy shit, what are we gonna do? I'm like, we never said goodbye. I'm like, we gotta go back. And my parents were out of town. I think they were in New Orleans or something like that. I knew they were down south. And we came back to get it. And we said goodbye, put it in the box. And I'm like, we got to burn it. And they asked me where the lighter fluid was. I turned and pointed to the back porch. The light on the porch started flickering off and on like crazy, and getting goosebumps. We went out there and got the lighter fluid, and we went to this elementary school, threw all that shit on the ground, put some lighter fluid on it. It took forever to burn, and it swirled. It reminded me of Maleficent, because there's this tall green flame that was just swirling really tight. And once it was done, we were just like, we're never doing this again. Like, we still talk about it. Like, sometimes a picture will pop up on the Book of Faces, and we'll all have this whole conversation, and it was crazy. I have a friend that collects the things.
Oh, hell no.
And she's got all these haunted dolls and everything else. And I'm like, no, no. I've never been to her house. I'm just like, no way.
We're going to end up on I would like to be a co-host every time I'm on.
That'd be pretty cool.
Alright, I'm usually on Tuesdays. I'm going to be going on Tuesdays and Thursdays at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Do you have Facebook?
I do.
Okay, I can open a group chat that I talk to people on that, my mod down here, Diana,
Okay.
and Tina, she's in there. And I let everybody know about when I'm going to go live and stuff like that. So I can add you to that if you would be interested in that.
Yeah, that'd be awesome. Like Thursdays, I should be able to.
For
All right.
sure.
Hey.
We'll get off here, and you send me the name and whatever, and I'll look it up.
Sounds good. Yeah, because I was gonna message you too, about you said the Lemurian crystal
Yeah.
and a bracelet, Larimar,
Yeah.
and I just hadn't got a chance to message you yet, but I will do that right after this.
All right, no problem. I'm usually on Facebook right on my mouth Katrina all the time, so we're usually on most of the time talking. So I have a lot of people I talk to on Facebook about spiritual things because a lot of them don't like to talk on here. So it's kind of like appointments. I have to schedule them in at certain times because I got so many people I want to help about certain different things. One lady held about dragons, another one asked me about Egyptians. So I'm
That's
busy during the day.
Let's see, where is it? I've got an Egyptian tapestry from 1929. I've got the whole scrapbook album from the expedition.
I like that tapestry. I'm getting the gold one.
Got that, and I've got this really cool drawing of Nefertiti that I inherited along with the Egyptian stuff.
That's really cool.
So yeah, I need to go live sometime and show the album because it was a spiritual trip for them.
We can do that on the next live, you know.
True. I've got a whole box full of books from the Rosicrucians. I've got one of Edgar Casey's original printings that I called them. They were like, "Holy shit, you have a copy of that?" Like, we just have reprints. And
You can tell me about him because I've heard about him, but I've never really paid attention to it.
right, yeah, it.
With a guy, you know what I'm talking about. He would always talk about that crap, and I was like, I don't want to listen to anything he had to say anyway.
Right, like I want to either remember these things for myself or hear it from my team. And my discernment's better.
Other bullshit, and I couldn't. He has a lot of great knowledge, but it seems to be clustered with bullcrap. And
Yeah.
I couldn't deal with it, so I'm like, you know, I don't even care. And
Yep.
whatever he was saying, I just tuned out. But
Yep.
yes, hello, Kit Kat. Welcome. Are people just going by? Well, if you want to add each other, go ahead. Feel free to do that. We're pretty much going to end this live right now at like 10:50. The next live is going to be Tuesday. I'll post a video about that, and we'll discuss the topic with my hosts and mom and figure out what we're going to do. So it's great having you here. Maybe we can get some more people in here because this 4 and 5, 6 and 7 is a little bit.
Right. Yeah, I feel like we need to reach more people because there's things that they're going to need to know.
And I was telling Trina, I was like, it's very hard to do this because you got other people on, and a lot of people are pulled to certain different people and their different beliefs, but it's very hard to get a following. I did have a following at one time of like 40 to 50, 60 people. I decided to take a vacation away from TikTok, and I ended up losing that over a year because of, that crackpot person, and then going back here and going online off and on. But yes, and I just seen the commander comes on, because the commander came on. That's the sign of an execution right there, because
Yep.
he walked on.
Yep. I'll message you first, and then I'll go and see if I'm live and in that room.
All right. Have a great night, and I'll see you Tuesday.
All right. Sounds good. Good night, guys.
Good night. Have a good night.
You too.